Alright, guys, this is episode 2 of Admirals Academy, and we're going to be going over the fundamentals of MGO. I've written some notes down, so we're going to go through a couple of things, so let's just get right into it. In the last episode, I went through sensitivity and settings and stuff like that. Just to clarify, I changed my view change speed to 10 because I found out what this setting actually is. It's how fast you aim in. So you would want that on 10 no matter what, because why would you not want to aim in faster? So like if you play Call of Duty, like ADS time is really important. It's a quick draw, so you just want to aim in as fast as possible. So change that to 10. So I'm playing all 8s and the last one's on 10. Okay, so let's get started with this. So, oh yeah, I also changed my weapon switch to recall. Why? Because it makes you move more fluid and stuff like that, and it's just easier to pull out your gun. It's faster rather than clicking R2 at another time to pull out your gun. If you, as you know, you guys probably know that if you run with your grenade, you're faster. When you run with your M4, you're slower. So it kind of catches people off guard when you pull out your grenade and you're moving faster. So it's harder for people to shoot you. You want to pull out your grenade and shoot. Anyway, we'll get to that later. The first topic that we're going to discuss is bloom. So bloom is basically the recoil pattern of like the gun that you shoot and like where the bullets go. So in MGO has bloom, and other like FPS shooters have bloom as well. So that means that wherever your crosshair is, the first bullet is always going to be in the center, but every bullet after that is going to be in a random kind of spray pattern, and it might not necessarily be in the center of the crosshair. So you may notice this when you're like spraying at someone and you don't get the kill. That's because your consecutive bullets are not registering or they're off target because of the bloom. So that's why in MGO you want to tap shoot. So you want to shoot a couple bullets, move, shoot a couple bullets, move, like that. Because if you stand still and spray, the person's going to be moving, you're going to be missing shots, and you're going to run out of ammo, and then you're going to need to reload. And then that's how you die. So the best thing to do is just shoot a few bullets, move, shoot, or shoot, and then stop. And take a break, and shoot again. I'm just getting my ammo back. So once again, like these guys are kind of for people that don't understand these things or didn't know. If you're an experienced player, you probably notice these things, but if you're not, then there's information for you. So yeah, that's bloom. Second thing, we're gonna go into aiming styles, or just aiming styles. So I've identified like there's kind of two aiming techniques that a lot of the good players use. The first one is players like me or Solid 007 or Bab, that we play more aggressive, and what I like to call is more kind of like a rusher, kind of aggressive kind of aiming style, where the minute you see someone, you're shooting, you're aggressive, you're not taking any breaks, you're not taking any pauses or anything. Like you're just shooting the person the minute you see them, and you rely on good positioning, good aiming, and that's how you kind of confirm your kills, and that's how you get your kills, and that's how you like to aim and engage your gunfights. So that's kind of how I like to play. And the second style is more of like a methodical baiting the enemy to shoot or to move or to stand still, and then you take your shot. So players that kind of like use this are like Knifefox, Ninja MGS, like Apocalypse. Those are kind of like top players that like use this kind of technique. So it's kind of hard to show an example of this with, like on the training bots, because they're not shooting. So if you can just imagine that this training bot is shooting at me, yeah, or aiming. So in the first style, you just shoot straight away. But a lot of what these players do is they wait for you to shoot, and then they take their shot. Or they use their movement and positioning and camera angles to outposition you while you're standing still and then shoot. Because if you play MGO and you're experienced, you know that you want to stand still and shoot. That's when you're most accurate. Because if you're moving and shooting, your aim is completely off and your bullets are spraying everywhere. So you want to stand still and shoot in MGO. So this second aiming style kind of uses that to your advantage. So pretend this guy's spraying at me and I'm dodging his bullets. So while he's shooting me, he's going to be standing still. And if I have good positioning and camera, these kind of players, they are always looking at the person's head, like always focusing on that. So when he shoots, bang, dead. So they dodge your bullets or they box pop, wiggle around, doing circles, and then they shoot. That's kind of the second aiming style. There's pros and cons to both, and obviously like you can use both. It's just like some players tend to lean towards one style than others. That's what I've noticed playing mix, playing CBs, tournaments, like watching other gameplays, watching these players play. That's kind of like what they lean towards. So figure out what kind of style you fall into. Try to learn both, of course. Like you want to incorporate everything into your gameplay depending on the situation. But just figure out what works for you and incorporate that into your gameplay. Third thing that we're going to be covering is reticle positioning. So in MGO, there's three stances. There's standing, there's crouching, and there's lying down. Majority of people, like, you're not going to get into a fight where you're lying down, like you're just standing still. So it's either standing or up. So the reason why this is called reticle positioning is this is your reticle, like that circle that you're seeing on the screen. So based off that information that there's two stances, therefore the enemy's head, because you want to go for headshots, that's like a one-shot kill. The enemy's head is always going to be at, let me spawn back in, at this height or this height. These are the two reticle positionings that are the most key. So you don't want to waste your time, or you don't want to be positioning lower here. This is a chest shot. This takes so much longer to kill the person. So you always want to have your camera pointed at headshot level. So always keep your camera pointed at headshot level. Yeah, if the person ducks, then all you need to do is just lower your reticle just by a few inches or whatever. So if the person ducks, I don't know how do I make this. I don't know how to make the bot duck or whatever. But so if I'm going around the corner or I'm looking around, I'm not looking high, I'm not looking low, I'm not looking at the body or the chest or the lower limbs. I'm like, my positioning is always at the top, so that I can always aim at the person's head. You always want to do that. So it's this height and this height. That's it. You don't want to aim in the middle. You don't want to aim to the side. You just want to have these two positions. That's it. But you don't want to just stand there and move it down. So you got to have it on deck. Just a little bit. Alternatively, if the other person crouches down and shoots at you, then you crouch down. And if your positioning is correct, your reticle would automatically track to their crouched position head. So like this. So pretend I'm in a gunfight with this guy. He sits down. There. I'm ready for shooting him in the head while he's crouched. That's what I mean by reticle positioning. So moving on to the third topic that we're going to discuss, which is centering. And these topics, kind of like these aspects of gameplay, like link into each other. So you want to improve and work on all of them simultaneously, so then you can improve your overall gameplay. So what centering is, this is like a common FPS term, is you want to center the center of your screen where your reticle is. So pretend like there's a dot in the middle of my monitor right now where the reticle is going to be when I zoom in. You always want to imagine that the enemy is at that center, and you always want to be aiming where the enemy is and is going to be. So for example, I'm running around this corner, okay? And I may or may not know that there's an enemy there. However, when I go around this corner, my center of my screen is at headshot level where I predict an enemy is going to be. Because it's not useful for me to aiming here when I know the enemy is over here. So the minute I come around this corner, like I'm dragging my view already. Before I even see him, I'm moving my camera angle. This is not what not to do. Like that. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is go slowly and have it tracked. So for example, I know there's a guy over there. My camera is always centered to where the enemy is going to be. There's no point looking here. There's no point looking at this wall and then flicking over. None of that. Don't waste your time. You always want to be focused on where the enemy is going to be. This is going to save you a lot of time, and it'll improve your positioning and your aiming because you're not wasting time dragging your reticle. You're not wasting time wiggling around, moving your camera. You're immediately centered on the enemy. Immediately centered onto the enemy. The minute you go around the corner, you want to be looking at the enemy, always a headshot level, predicting where they might be or where someone is going to be. If you see them on the map, you're looking at where they're going to be. You're predicting that. That's what you want to do. You don't want to make wasted movements. You don't want to be looking on the ground, looking up into the sky, looking at walls. Like, this is wasted movement, and you're just going to do much better if you kind of imagine or predict where enemies are going to be. Third thing. Sorry, not the third thing. The next thing, movement. This is probably like the fifth or something. So this is going to be movement. So how do I talk about this? So movement. I kind of touched on this earlier. You want to stand still and shoot. Why? Because your bullets are more accurate. If you're walking, like look at the bullet spray, it's much more harder. And the way registration works in MGO, the first few bullets register better than the later ones because of bloom, as we talked about earlier. So you just want to stand still and shoot. Obviously, you don't want to stand still for too long because then you're just a sitting target and it's easier for people to track a moving target. Just think about it yourself. When you're trying to kill somebody, when you're trying to shoot somebody, it's easier to shoot them while they're standing still. So that works in reverse as well. You always want to keep on your toes. You always want to be moving up and down, left and right. Now, you want to incorporate X in there as well, because if someone is good, they're just going to always be aiming up here. That's why you crouch down, you crouch, you shoot, you crouch, you shoot, you go stand up. You mix it around. You always want to keep the other person guessing or predicting or dodging their bullets. You don't want to just, run around in a circle like this. You don't want to just run in a straight line. So if I imagine there's a person there and he's pre-aiming, so imagine a person is like this, pre-aiming me, waiting for me to come around the corner, and I know this, I see them, I don't run around like that. What you want to do is box pop, peek, or go slowly, wiggle, dodge, bait them out, something like that. Incorporate these movements, mechanics into your gameplay. So another thing is something called box popping, which I just mentioned. So that is where you press L2 to activate your box and your character immediately goes into a crouched position without having to press X. Because if you're running and you press X, you do a roll. But if you press L2, you're already automatically in a crouched position. So what you can do is like this, box pop. Around the corner, you box and you pop it out. You don't want to stay in your box too long because then someone can just spray you and you don't have your gun now. So you just quick box, quick box, quick box. Okay? And then also in movement, like I said, don't run in a straight line. Incorporate some zigzags, some left and right. Just throw the enemy person off because, like I said, their centering is going to be good. Their aiming is going to be good. You want to incorporate boxes in there, wiggles. One thing that I do notice is a lot of players, they might have good movement. You're spending 10 minutes over here just wiggling around. Wow, you're in one gunfight and you're just wiggling around, wasting your time, moving left, right, blah, 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 dodging. Yeah, sure, you're dodging and you get one kill out of that, but it's taking too long. You want to be quick and precise with your movement. Quick, shimmy, shoot, confirm your kill, move on to the next gunfight. You want to maximize your gunfights. You don't want to just sit here, dodge, move around, yeah, whatever. Congratulations, you got one kill. 2 minutes have passed. You're going to get shot from someone else, whatever. You want to be quick and fluid and get your kill and move on. Because chances are, if you're against a good player or against a good team, the enemy is going to get reinforcements, you're going to get grenaded, you're going to get team shot. You want to confirm your kills quick and move on. Focus on the next kill. Another movement mechanic that a lot of people use that, to be honest, even I'm not that good at, is called body twisting. So you might not be able to see it. If you look at my torso at the bottom of my screen, it's like moving in a circle. So what body twisting is, where you run in a circle and you flick your analog in quick. So do a quick 360 and then you aim in. Quick 360, aim in. So what on the other person, their upper body standing still, but their lower body is doing a circle, and it just kind of throws people off. It looks cool. It's a mechanic to use. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to talk about. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If any comments, let me know. We can discuss them in the next video. If you liked it, like the video, comment. I was thinking maybe for some future videos, I'll take like some gameplay from other people, or if you want to submit some gameplay and I'll coach you, or I'll analyze your gameplay and tell you like what you're doing wrong or how you can do better. That could be a cool idea. So let me know what you think. GG's.